Ahkello, what is your desire to stay here, and why do you think it kind of worked for you well down towards the stretch?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed my time here. I think the biggest thing was just the familiarity with the defense, just getting to understand it in those weeks that I wasn't playing. And then just the environment and just the simplicity of the approach to the game and just minimizing the other team's targets, winning in those important moments. Those are all simple components of the game that I understand, and I was just able to go out and apply it.
Let's go to Ray Fittipaldo. Ray?
Hey, Ahkello, how do you weigh, the money in free agency and then also it seems like you played very well in this system. How do you go about making that decision, a couple months from now, once that time comes?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just letting stuff kind of unfold and not getting caught up in an idea of how I want it to look or how I want it to go. I think when those opportunities arise and those conversations start to happen, I'll be able to have a better understanding of my approach. But right now, I'm just kind of just going with the flow and enjoying these first few days being off of work and just kind of checking out and kind of getting my mind off of the normal stress and the strain that comes with competing at a high level week in, week out. So once again, I'm excited for those opportunities, and when they come, I'll have a much better understanding.
Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, Ahkello, what did you learn about how Teryl Austin is as a coach, and what kind of things did he teach you while you were here this year?
Yeah, I think he's he understands the game from all levels, and so that's good for a DB. When you have a coach that can inform you about the run game and understand where the linebackers are going to be so that your job can be easier, and just kind of that complete approach, I think is important at the cornerback position. If you can absorb that knowledge, which I can. And so it's just been good to see him lead the room. He fosters a great environment for all of us to be ourselves, and we just come to work excited.
Jenna Harner.
Ahkello, if you are with this Steelers team next year, knowing that personnel can change and things along those lines, what in your eyes is the biggest area the defense really needs to grow in?
Personnel-wise, growth. Man, I think everywhere. I'm just going to go with the safe answer. Just because I think we all can get better. And I think if at the cornerback position we're operating at an elite level, we're helping the linebackers. And if they're operating at an elite level, they're helping the D-line, helping us. So I think the goal is just to get better everywhere because it only helps the team. And we want to be that defense that you don't really know who the best group is on the defense. And that's the kind of team I want to be a part of.
Dale Lally.
Ahkello, you've already been through this free agency thing once. I'm sure you thought you were going to stay in Seattle last year when you signed with them. Does that factor into your decision at all at the comfort level now, knowing that, hey, even though I signed with somebody last year, they were still able to trade me away, so I got to pick a spot where I'm the most comfortable at?
Yeah, I think it's very important in terms of just the peace that I have in this process, because I know that stressing or wondering about where you're going to be, you might not even be there come at the start of the season. So that's kind of my approach in terms of stepping back and not trying to put too much in it or pretend like I know everything, because I thought I did last year and I was extremely wrong. And so for me, once again, I think just going where you're wanted is an absolute must. And that was Seattle at a time last year. And then that changed. So I'm just very comfortable and I'm prepared to play football anywhere, really.
Chris Adamski.
Ahkello, yeah, I know you jumped on the moving train and stuff. So, part of it was probably just a whirlwind the first few weeks. But in the secondary, there was part of it was injury, part of it was COVID and things like that. But there was different weeks, different game plans, different, like a Trey Norwood played this position, that position. Cam Sutton played this position, that. But there was a lot of moving parts, is what I'm trying to say, and a lot of different schemes for game plans for different people. I don't know, in your past experience, was it as much like that? Was this like a unique year that way? And was that because of just game planning? Was that out of necessity, or was that out of changes? What do you think that was all about from your point of view?
Yeah, I think I think we have a combination of talented players that have multiple skill sets, and as well as myself coming in and kind of adding a body to that picture, like you said, on a moving train. And so I think part of that is just accommodating for the amount of bodies that we have in the room, and they can all play football at a high level. And I think it specialized us as a group at times. And in terms of moving forward, I just think that it's good to have as many weapons on a team in a defensive backfield that can play around different areas. So it was fun to be a part of.
Let's go to Nick Fairbaugh.
Yeah, Ahkello, from a schematic standpoint of what you did here in Pittsburgh compared to what you did at San Francisco and Seattle, what's your level of comfortability with what the Steelers run? And do you think it's your natural fit here in a scheme like the Steelers? Do you like what they run and how it fits with your kind of skill set overall?
Yeah, so I think just the varying defenses that we played here, they actually suit my game well because I like to be diverse in my gameplay. And I'm not going to say that you make the same type of plays, but in the traditional cover 3 system, you're in a lot of very similar situations. When you're rolling defenses out, game in, game out, you're getting exposed to different plays, making plays at different angles. And I think as a competitor, as a corner especially, it's just fun to be a part of a defense that exposes you to those different facets of the game and challenging yourself and seeing where you can capitalize on other teams' mistakes and their trends based off of what they do for that week against what you're going to do on that given play. And so just that type of detail, it's awesome to be a part of. And I'm very excited to see where my game goes just because of this experience.
Noah Strackbean.
Hey, Ahkello, I got 2 quick ones for you. One, have you had your exit interview with Mike Tomlin, and have they expressed the same interest, in having you return? And 2, what kind of relationships did you build with, Cam Sutton, Joe Minka, those guys this season?
Yeah, I'm speaking with Mike Tomlin today, so I don't have any information on that tip. And then the relationships I've built have been incredible. It was very important for myself just coming into a new environment to establish myself as a man, as a friend, as a brother. And those guys were very welcoming, just allowing me to be myself, catching on in the play. Obviously bodes well just in terms of getting guys on board. And so it was a very natural process, just being myself, being consistent day in, day out. And then those leaders on the team flocked when plays started getting made. And it's as simple as that in this league.
And then we'll wrap it up. One follow-up with Chris. We got Cam Sutton on the line, so we'll get him started next. But go ahead, Chris.
Ahkello, I think it's 4 of the top 8, depending on how you define it, 4 of the top 7 or 8 in the secondary are free agents, including yourself. I know, of course, you don't make the decisions, including yourself, the whole decision. But is there cohesion in the secondary? Do you see maybe between Joe and Teryl and Arthur? If everybody could stay together, would that be your ideal, or do you think the secondary can be a good secondary if it sticks together?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a lot of cohesion, and that's important. Just that brotherhood aspect that you can't really see or measure, but the guys in the room were all respectful of one another, extremely high competitors, love the game, very detailed, very nerdy when it comes to football. And that's the type of stuff you want to be around when you're at the job day in, day out, waking up at 7 a.m. So it's just important to have that type of passion for the game and that type of love around you. And I think we have a great group of guys that exemplify that.